over here. Hey, what's going on, world? It's me again, Ethan Smith, aka Mr. P.I.E.N. You missed out on the first 5 minutes of the show. I forgot to go live. Me and my wife was already into it. But it's on the Instagram live page. You can go check it out. My wife is an expert. We'll attempt to edit it together and post it all eventually back on the YouTube channel at Mr. P.I.E.N. at Mr. P.I.E.N 77 on YouTube. Hey, somebody just joined. I was wondering. I was like, what's going on? But anyhow, my wonderful wife, Kiki, is back, fresh, recovered from the surgery we talked about. I shared with you guys months ago. And she's here with me. And today we're going to talk a little bit about new beginnings and how God has placed new beginnings in our life. And for the people on Instagram, this is just a quick little recap for the first 5 or 10 minutes that I missed to the people on Facebook. Chess Kale, what's going on, Chess? Chess said, hey, baby.
Hey, Chess.
Chess Kale, lead one. Boy, he know me in a different life way before my new beginnings. But anyhow, new beginnings, people. New beginnings. So, babe, earlier, do you remember what you were speaking on before I realized we wasn't live on here?
About talking. You were saying that you don't want to just be talking to be talking. You want to actually be saying something useful. Mm-hmm. And I said there's a difference between talking just to be talking and talking about something as opposed to just talking.
Absolutely. And I think talking about new beginnings and how I talked about, I think that camera just died. I don't know how it died that fast, because I know it said we had 29 minutes of record time. Again, this is new beginnings. We doing this from home. You have to start with where you at. Don't make any excuses. What's going on, King? Don't make any excuses. Just start with where you at, with what you have. We not at Tame's house, but what we're doing is we're launching a new platform. We're launching something that we have to do together. We have to unite this new beginning together. Anyhow, the camera went out. We'll put a charge on it later.
Yeah.
But my wife probably looking like, really, babe? I'm going to bring it all together.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm going to bring it all together. Anyhow, us having to begin to do it on our own, it stretches us in a different direction.
Yes.
It really stretches us in a different direction and helps us to build a solid platform of how to do it together. No,
I said,
I'm be going on all day on my own.
You're not gonna be going on your own. I'm agreeing.
Oh, right. I was hoping you said something. Anyhow, yeah. This is definitely a new beginning, because even though in my videos I talk a bunch about my life. Mm-hmm. I talk about my past life. I don't really I talk about my wife, but I haven't let people in this part. Now they get to see what you've been dealing with for the last 20 plus years. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, he in the living room.
Yes.
Because I don't have no choice. I'm in my comfort zone. I'm in my comfort zone, and eventually it's going to go back and forth, and they'll see how I became.
Is that the message you want them to have, or
what's that? What do you mean? Is that the message I want them to have?
The Ethan in this season of your life in the living room, as opposed to...
Absolutely, because it's growth.
Right.
I'm telling you the stories about where I came from. Now you seeing where I'm at.
Right.
The things that I prayed about, those new beginnings that I asked for. You know what I'm saying? The new beginnings that I asked for to have in my life. That's where I'm at in my life now.
Right.
So why am I not talking about that? I can still talk about dropping out of high school. I can still talking about quitting the army. I could, but how about here's the flip side? Here's the upside to this. All those things that I prayed about when I dropped out of high school, all those things that I asked for, all those new beginnings that I wanted, I'm living them right now.
Indeed.
And so if I don't tell this story, hey, Tanyelle, what's going on? You remember Tanyelle?
I do. Hey.
Next one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I don't talk about those new beginnings, then it's like you told me a couple months back when I was crying and complaining about ain't nobody looking at my page, I ain't getting no followers. You was like, babe, you talking about the same stuff.
Right.
So now that we on new beginnings, you have to talk about new things, show people how you're actually progressing, moving forward, not just sitting here talking.
Right.
This is about really sharing the message with people, about people understanding the power that they have, the gift, the love, the what's possible for love. Like, I want to touch on all subjects. You know, a lot of people know our past, my past, you know, but it's like, look at what God has done. Look at how we got here because of the new beginnings. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Tanyelle said, hey, Kiki.
Hey, Tanyelle.
I'm gonna go heat my tea up. I'll be right back.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're gonna talk about new beginnings.
Yeah.
How you can have one every day, every month, every year, as often as you need to. You can recreate yourself. You can start something new. You can end something. Our life is just, you know, seasons where we go from season to season as we grow to the next level in our life. So a new beginning can be whenever you need it to be. Can be in a season and say, hey, this is not what I thought it was going to be, and I'm just going to turn and take a new direction. Or you just grow. It just comes organically, where you just like, okay, I've outgrown this and now it's time for a change. It could be a relationship, it could be a job, it can be, you know, anything that you're doing in your life. You don't have to stay in one area of your life if it's not working for you. You can choose to have a new beginning.
Yeah, and I think, you know, new beginnings are important. We get comfortable in a routine. We don't see tomorrow as a new beginning. We see it as the same mundane. I got to get up. I got to go to work. I'm sick and tired of this job. I'm sick and tired of going up to these kids' school. Like, I'm sick and tired of this. So you don't see that every day that you wake up is a fresh new beginning at life. Like, it's a do-over. It's not even a do-over. It's a fresh start, because you can't redo anything that has already happened. You know what I'm saying? Not exactly like it was.
Right.
So
you can just make different choices.
Absolutely.
So your tomorrow is different than your yesterday.
Absolutely. You hear that?
Kids yelling outside. They having fun. They're being kids.
Yeah, that's very true. But anyhow, so I'm not supposed to use that word. It's a Toastmasters thing. You keep.
Oh, well, you out there now. You out there.
No, anyhow, going back to the beginning when we were talking about Thomas and feeling like, you know, being stretched in certain ways. And I remember when we were at his home and a new beginning I seen happening. I seen this moment happening for us in the moment when we were recording. I don't remember what show we recorded, but afterward I was on recording with Zachary and Zaria, and they was messing around on the microphones, and then you came out. And me and you was recording, and you start singing, humming, you got your beat.
We were just messing around.
And we were just messing around. And for months, we had been talking about doing a podcast, doing a live show together. Months and months talking about it, thinking you have to have the equipment. And then in that moment of you singing your song and me doing my inspirational speaking, I looked at you and I'm like, see, babe, we already doing it. We doing a podcast right now. It's just nobody around to see us doing it.
Right.
Then we would find little things on Instagram. I would keep sending you, look, babe, people just sitting on their couch. They just sitting in the chair. Like, it don't matter how you look. Just take the step. Start the new beginning. Get out there and see where it grows from there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So it don't have to be perfect when you get started, because you're growing. You're going to grow into it and you'll get better as you go along. I think sometimes we hesitate to get started or start something new because we want everything to be perfect when we go. And it don't always work like that. Some things unfold as you take the steps.
Right, that's true. But it's not going to be perfect. Most things unfold as you take the steps.
Right.
They say plan to fail and fail to plan to fail. And then people say make plans and watch God laugh at you. But we're reading the Bible the other day, and I think it was in Proverbs, I don't remember, it says a man plans his way, but God orders his steps. I think you have to set a plan for new beginnings in life, but you have to allow God to order it however it's going to go.
Right. You have to be open to change.
Absolutely.
Your journey. You
Absolutely.
have to be open to it.
All you have to do is see the vision. Whatever the vision is that he's giving you for your life, whatever that beginning is, I think if you stay focused on that vision, you know what I'm saying, then it'll be easier. It's going to come. It's just not going to come the way you want it to come.
Absolutely.
I mean, case in point, look, you know what I'm saying? I mean, 2-3 years ago, you couldn't have told me that we would be sitting here.
Yeah, true.
You couldn't have told me that. But years ago, say 20 years ago, I don't know what age you was at. Say 20 years ago, you prayed to have how do I want to put it? You prayed to have this character of husband.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That who I am now. But you didn't think when you asked for that I'm going to go through all this. And when I'm sick and tired and done with it, I'm going to get that new beginning. Then God, really? Right. You know what I'm saying? So the new beginning is going to come, but you can't define how it comes, right, or when it comes. Right. But it's coming if you believe that. It's coming.
True.
Oh man, Unc, I love everything you doing, man. Right, RT. Yeah, thanks, nephew. I don't know what RT mean, but you got to bring me up to speed on that one. I hope that's
real
right.
Talk, baby. Real talk.
There we go.
I got you, Malik. Real talk. Hey, Brittany.
Hey, what's going on, Brittany? How you doing? Anyway, so new beginners. She got my back, man. This is my better half. I tell people this is how I'm able to do what I do. And I know this probably a little bit outside her comfort zone, but real talk, she's comfortable. I don't know how to put it. I know it's out of her comfort zone, but I feel like she's comfortable enough with stepping out on her edge, with me. Like, it's like, okay, this uncomfortable, but I know I might grow from it, so I'm gonna do it anyhow. And it allows me to be free. It really does. And I know the freer I am, the more she comes out being her, because it's just, real, I guess. But anyhow,
it's like a comfort thing.
Yeah.
I can do it because I'm comfortable. I have my best friend here with me. I'm not taking the jump by myself. So that good. Makes it easier. That's and when good. You're going on a journey of new beginnings, it does make it easier when you have, a partner, or when you have your best friend with you, because you don't feel like I'm doing it all by myself. And then you can be a support one to another. So I think it doesn't seem as scary because you're not doing it by yourself.
I think God makes it that way.
What?
I really think it do for you to do it with a partner. I think the journey for you to discover who you are, who you are. And I know we talking new beginnings, but follow me. The journey that we take to discover who we are, who we are as individuals, we have to take that journey alone. We have to take that journey alone. And I think when you figure out and discover who you are supposed to be, God definitely matches you up with the partner that fits you to help you get there. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. The partner that he matched you up with, they may not be at the stage of life where you at. They might not even have went through their new beginning process. Case in point, you got to this point of stable family home environment, full-time mother role, be at home with my kids, be a part of my kids' life. Like, that was your new beginning when you said I do. Like, everything else had changed. My mindset hadn't changed there. Marriage to me was just like, oh, I'm married. I got a new title to put on it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't grow. My new beginning didn't start then.
Right.
But you was already there, going through your process, through your journey. Then I had to go through not my new beginning on my own, but now that I've went through it, now that I'm continuing to go through this process and I'm realizing where I'm supposed to go, what I'm supposed to do, it's matching with where you're at. You know what I'm saying? It's like, even though we are separated and it took me longer to get to the place that we thought I should have been, our new beginnings came at a time where it was in God's timing. You know what I'm saying? I was coming out of a relationship. You were coming out of a relationship. Our thought process, our train of thought, our mental process, everything was different.
Yes.
It was a total new beginning for us. But no one would have ever thought when you prayed for that 20 years ago, you would have had to go through everything you went through to get to this new beginning. And I think when we're looking to get to the next thing, when I'm looking to get to speaking on stage in front of hundreds of thousands, when I'm looking to get into, you see a million people being touched by these messages. when I'm looking to get to that, you start to focus on what you're trying to get to, and you don't see the new beginning every day. You don't see the 2. You don't see the 3 people watching. You don't see the family members or the friends that knew you from when you used to be here that's following your new beginning, because you get so focused that, you know, I ain't moving fast enough. I ain't going nowhere. No, you have to focus on a new beginning of life every single day.
Because ultimately it's who you're becoming on the journey.
Absolutely.
Because we ask for things that we may not necessarily be ready for at that time. And so the journey helps prepare us. So even though I prayed for it 20 years ago and I was making steps to be a wife and a mother, who knows if I was even ready for what I asked for. I mean, just because I was making the steps to change myself, there was a lot of baggage I had to unpack to get here. So I think we get so focused on the destination that we don't realize it's who we have to be and change, so that when we get that thing we're asking for, we're able to maintain it. Because you don't want to get something and then you don't have the knowledge to keep it.
That's true.
So sometimes the journey to where we want to be is more about us becoming than it is getting to the journey.
And then you said you don't want to ask for something and then know how to keep it, right?
Yeah, that's like me praying for a husband, but I still have the mentality of a single woman. I'm going out every night, I'm clubbing, I'm just spending my money the way I want. Well, what you do in your single life transfers over to when you get married, because marriage is not a what I want to say, magic spell, and then all of a sudden we married and we acting married. No, how I act when I'm single is how I act when I get married. That's kind of what we experienced. Yes, that's why I was going with that. That's kind of what we experienced. It was just like, okay, we married, but I catch up with you because this is what I'm used to doing. So if you're praying for a spouse, you have to be the wife or the husband, so that when God brings you two together, you find that person, you're ready. You're not getting ready, because it's not fair to your spouse to have to wait around for you to get ready, especially when I was preparing myself, but my husband was not.
Absolutely.
He just got married, and I was really preparing myself to be a wife and a mother. And it's really unfair to your spouse to have to wait on you when you have all this singleness or this time to yourself to do that. That's what your single season is about, preparing yourself. So when, the time comes and you're ready for that thing you prayed for, you're truly ready for it. You've let go of, your selfish ways. You're learning how to be who you want, or if it's a car you want, learn what it takes to maintain a car, learn about maintenance, learn about keeping gas in it, learn about mileage. So I think sometimes we forget to prepare for the thing we want. We just want it dropped in our lap, and then you get it, and your old stinking thinking kicks in, and then you don't get to keep it because you didn't prepare for it.
So you actually got the new thing, but you didn't get a new beginning.
Absolutely, because your mindset wasn't the same. If you used to just running your cars into the ground and you get a brand new 2019, whatever that thing is you're looking for, and you take the same mindset, then your 2019 in 3 years is going to be just going down. It's going to be breaking down. You're going to need maintenance every other month because you didn't learn how to keep it, to maintain it, because you just took the same thinking you had with your 2007.
What there is
there's
no new beginning
from it. Not really. You got a new thing, but you didn't grow up to what you asked for. You just.
How do you make that how do you think you make that transition? What helped you make that transition?
It's a decision. I guess sometimes it's trial and error. You go into a situation and you're like, man, this thing I prayed for is not bringing me the joy I thought it was going to bring me. And then you have to ask yourself, well, why is that? You prayed for a house, you have a house, now you upset because you got to keep the grass up. Or because, the water bill is higher than you thought. Where these are things you should have researched before you got into it. And so that's why I say it's a trial and error thing, because sometimes we don't think about, okay, maybe I need to educate myself on, being a homeowner before I get into it, until you into it. And then you like, man, well, if I do this over again, I know how to do it next time. So it's just a thing of trial and error. Or unless you get somebody who, comes along and say, have you ever considered, doing A, B, C, and D? And then you like, no, I never considered that. But until then, you just get into stuff and then you learn the hard way. Call a school of hard knocks. When you get into it.
What you know about the school of hard knocks,
hey, now I got a trophy and a t-shirt and all that jazz. But yeah, so I would encourage anybody who's single and looking for, a new beginning to prepare for it.
Yeah.
Learn how to dress, learn what it is to really be a spouse to someone, because it's compromise. You don't always get to do what you want to do. It's compromise. It's a lot of love, and it's a process. It's a process with us jiving together. We have our different opinions. We have different personalities, but just learning how to respect another person's opinion without tearing them down or making it seem like, well, you just need to look at it my way and I don't want to look at it your way. No, you can't do that, because we won. So we should be going in the same direction. And sometimes we have to agree to disagree. Babe, I don't see it that way, but let's try it. Let's try it. And if it don't work, then we have a plan B. But that's a process. We haven't always been here. It'll be just shouting match. Like you're not hearing me and I'm not hearing you, but we're not hearing each other. It's not.
I think the other day was our first real, no, maybe on the cruise ship, we had a little shouting match. But other than that, every day has been felt like kind of a new beginning. But yeah, even those instances was needed, because the old me would have stayed mad and been upset. And I don't want to talk for a while. Like you wronged me. You know what I'm saying? Yes. It wasn't no newness. It wasn't no starting over. But the new me, it was like, okay, let me step back and actually see her perspective too. And
we talked through it.
Yeah.
After a while, we separated. You get yourself together and then you like, okay, we really do need to address this, because not addressing it is not addressing it. So it's like, okay, we cooled down and nobody's not going to say nothing. We just going to move past it. That's not addressing it. So once we cooled down and we came back and we were able to now listen, and then you say what you feel, I say what I feel. And it's like, we realized that neither one understood in that moment what the other person was thinking. And we were both totally wrong altogether. It was like, what I thought you were saying was not what you were saying, and what you thought I was saying was not what I was saying, but we couldn't hear that in the moment.
Is that how people
emotions took over?
So maybe that's how people that's how generational curse gets stuck, and there are no new beginnings.
What you mean?
From one generation to the next. I didn't know what you thought. I perceived in my mind you believed it to be this way.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I perceived in my mind that Zachary childhood I believed it to be somewhat as mine, and I wasn't enough father for him. I wasn't close enough, because that's how I seen my life. So I was forecasting mine onto him.
Yeah.
But how he actually sees it is totally different.
Absolutely.
So generational curse can be carried because we perceive that one generation feels this way. And in a relationship, there's no newness in the relationship. There's no new beginning in the relationship, because you perceive that the person was saying this when they really meant something totally different. And in order for you to get that start over, that newness, that freshness, you have to have that hard conversation. You have to have that communication.
Absolutely.
Like without the communication, it wouldn't work. Because before I would just storm off. I'm good. I'm going to get something to drink. I'm out of here. I'm mad. You'll be ready to talk. Or sometimes you have your days where you just like, I'm not talking. You snappy.
Yeah.
But now when it's like, okay, give a person a second, come back, talk about this, and find out what they meant. Then that's when it all starts over fresh. It's like, oh, it really wasn't that bad.
Yeah, because a lot of times your perception is not that person's reality. Hey, Ma. A lot of times your perception is not always that other person's reality. Case in point, we eating. And
New beginning.
I like to take my time because I'm a foodie. I want to taste it. I want to, take my time.
Okay.
And so
take your time. It's your food. You don't put that on me.
I didn't get a chance to finish
no
mine.
Excuses. One last week.
I didn't get a chance to finish my meal. I'm taking my time. And so Ethan assumes that I'm done with this. So he's like, babe, you ain't gonna eat that. I got this. And I'm like, well, hold on. Just because I ain't finish it in 10 minutes don't mean that I don't want it. Maybe I'm taking my time. Maybe I just, want to finish it later because I'm feeling full. Like your perception is not always reality. So that's where communication is really key at, because you might be thinking he or she doesn't care about you, and that may be farther from the truth. They could have had something else on their mind, or, it's not. Our perception of the world is not always reality. It's our reality, but it's not necessarily another person's reality. So that's where communication comes in, because you can see, oh, that's what you meant. Or maybe sometimes your perception is reality. I knew that's what you meant, but you don't know that until you communicate.
And then here's the thing. Nothing ever starts fresh over for me in my mind if I go into it with the same attitude.
Right.
Period. Like there is no new beginning. It's like you described with the cars earlier. When I think I've said before, if my car breaks down, am I mad at the car because it broke down? Or am I actually mad at the car because I maybe didn't take care of it? Maybe I treated the car like I treated the car I had 5 years ago. Maybe I treated the car like I had the first car that I had. So I had to, in the process, keep getting new things, new cars, because I was taking care of them in the same way. It was no new beginning in how I treated the stuff. And in the relationship, it's the same way. A person gets mad, you go back and forth, you hollering, you fussing, and we have a conversation about checking the mail and cleaning the stove grates that time, right? Yeah. We had a conversation about that, right? Mm-hmm. In my mind, I thought, okay, I'm gonna get to it when I get to it. And your mind, you may have thought I was going to do it right then and there, because I said, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it knocked out today or something. I could have said that. I don't know. So my thinking was, as long as I get it done, it's not an issue. But your mind is like, no, enough is enough. I thought we had a fresh start here, but I see it's the same thing. It's no consistency in this newness.
Right.
And people, they get that way. There's no consistency in their newness, and they go right back to their old mindset. Their old thought process, their old thought process.
Yeah.
Something I was listening to earlier when I think about new beginnings, when I was listening to the Bible, when Ruck Day Suck Day, shout out to Ruck Day Suck Day. I walked down to Vista Ridge and back. Yeah, that was a good little stretch. I thought she was gonna be like, "Oh, babe, good job." She just left me hanging. Anyhow,
oh, babe, good job.
anyhow, new beginnings. Anyhow, because I almost lost my train of thought messing with you.
Mystery,
right? Walk down there. Anyway, I was listening to the Bible app, and I'm always going back, like to get it for myself. And I realized when God created the heavens and the earth and he created man, and, you had Adam, and he was getting ready to wipe out just everybody. Like, okay, humans I should have never put y'all on the earth. I made a mistake. He was sad by it, right? That makes sense. You hear me?
Yes.
He was sad by all that, right? So he decided not to wipe out the entire human race because of one righteous person being Noah.
Right.
Had Noah build the ark and everything else. Made a covenant with Noah that he would never flood the earth again and things like that. Then I realized as Noah started having children, and I don't remember everybody in order, and I know I'm a butcher, so for all my religious people, bear with me, okay? My wife and my Bible will back me up. But anyhow, when I think about Noah, when I think about Abram, who became... when I think about Abram, who became Abraham, and how he reestablished the covenant with him. When I think about Abraham's son Isaac, how he reestablished the covenant with him, and one of Isaac's sons, and he reestablished the covenant with Joseph. Had he got to that point yet? I don't know, but it was somebody else. Saying all that to say this. What that said to me was every time God entered into a new relationship, a new beginning, he reestablished a new covenant based on the next person he was having to lead. You know what I'm saying? If God reestablishes a new covenant every time he enters into a renewed relationship for a new beginning, how do we not establish a new covenant and leave the past relationship behind us? How do you expect to move forward? How will we expect to move forward? How will we even expect Jesus Christ if God didn't reestablish the covenant? You know what I'm saying?
Well, moving forward sounds good in theory, but
sometimes
it's hard. And I say that because you have to unpack the things that have happened to you in your past. Like you said, this was a journey to get here. We didn't just get married and then we
right,
here.
Yeah, I know that.
It's a journey to unpack, and sometimes that journey is a little painful. You have to relive things and deal with things and come to a realization that, I
understand
your life may not have looked like what you wanted to up to a certain point, but starting today, you can take it and have a new beginning.
I understand that. And all I'm saying is, if God himself, when he established a new relationship with somebody, he started with a clean slate.
Right.
He wasn't continuing to punish you for what such and such did or what the last person did.
But we as humans do that because the matters of our heart are hard to deal with sometimes. That's what I'm trying to say.
And I get that.
And I believe that we should go into each new relationship on a fresh slate, because it's unfair to have you pay for something that someone in my past did to me.
I completely understand
that's a journey I have to take and heal in my heart.
And what I'm saying, if a person doesn't take that journey, how can they expect to really have a new beginning?
Oh, well,
that's all I'm saying. If you used to ask me every time I left, how come you can't be by yourself?
Right.
How come you can't be by yourself? Every time I left, you would ask me that question. Every time.
Because I knew being by yourself would allow you time to think about what it is you truly want.
But when I really wanted a new beginning, I got by myself.
Yes. Because it's when we can think clearly and we can hear without the noise of other people in our ears telling us what we think we should be doing. Well, when you get by yourself, then you can really reflect on, how things are going in your life and how you want to change them. True. Without the noise of everybody in your ear telling you, well, I think you should do this, I think you should do that. And maybe these people are well-meaning, but sometimes it just takes for you to, follow your own heart. And deal with the matters of your heart so that you can go forward. But I agree with you. I believe when we go into something new, we should go in with a clean slate. But reality is that's not always true, especially if you don't believe there's anything wrong with you. What if you like, I'm perfect, everybody else is tainted, and I go into this new relationship thinking I'm gonna build something new. And if you really
perfect, you probably been in a number of relationships.
Absolutely.
That means you not having a perfect look in the mirror, seeing your flaws.
But if I'm never staying alone long enough to see my flaws, I'm not thinking there's nothing wrong with me.
You're not gonna hit that new beginning until it's time for you, till you ready.
Absolutely. Till you get sick and tired.
Get sick and being, like I told you. Divorcing you is probably the best thing that ever happened to me, because it gave me an opportunity to see me for me and really get sick and tired. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be that guy.
Right.
Like, it's like Sister Michelle said,
hey, Dayla,
your mom typed a message. It's like Sister Michelle said, sometimes I come off a little bit abrasive, too rough, because I'm a person that's done a lot of BS. I'm a person that's been through the making excuses trap. I'm the person that didn't have no goals or anything set. When I set them, like, and I seen a new beginnings can happen based on me taking ownership of my life, I'm like, I'm not, no offense, I ain't looking to hear nothing else. Like, I'm not mad at you. I just don't have to listen to that because I feel like I know it's a better way. Just like you don't have to listen to me telling you can be better. You got to take that journey and figure it out for your own self.
Right.
But the people that I can help to get to a new beginning, I want them to know that it's possible. A new beginning is possible. Every day that God wake you up, you can move forward. And if you can focus more on your moving forward, where you looking to go as opposed to where you been, I think that's when a new beginning change in life. Now, it's not going to be comfortable for everybody else.
Right.
When I made my transition to my change, everybody didn't have to be like, oh, we respect your super positive. You wasn't feeling that. It was like, Negro, please. You know how many times you done left and came back a changed man?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, you had to see for yourself.
Right.
You had to see for yourself, but it wasn't about what you seen. It was about what I saw. So you probably could have said something like, oh, you just got these 4-5 videos, these 30 videos. That ain't nothing. You the same. That could have broke me. But I had already decided that my life was going to change. I started a new beginning with God. I had started my new spirituality. So what other people were saying didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we take what other people say, words more powerful than what our own words are, and they matter more. So our new beginning, before it can even start good, is crushed.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
and that's why I think it's important to be by yourself first. That way you can get rooted and grounded in who you are, because everybody is not going to accept the new you.
No, they're not.
But you have to be okay with being the new you.
If you not, if Warren Buffett said our greatest investment is investing in ourselves, if you're not investing in yourself, who you are, or what you stand for, why you're here, just knowing that I have a purpose. God gave me a purpose for life, or else I wouldn't be here. And if you don't love you enough for that, then you really have to take a step back and seek God, seek Buddha, seek Allah, whatever you believe in. You got to seek something until you get to that position in life. You just have to. And if you don't, I think you're going to have a life that feels like there are no new beginnings ever. You feel like you're doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not what anyone wants, I don't think. Your mother said, hey, I love you too. You're touching on some very valid and crucial points and effectively communicating. Good job. Well, you know, we did go to Murray Wright High School, so how else we can communicate? How else you expect us communication now? No, I'm just joking.
Silliness.
Dayla said, hey, y'all, Dayla Sanders. That's right. She got a new beginning. She got married. I forgot about that. Congrats, Dayla.
Yes.
But earlier in our new beginning session where we just went there, my wife be talking about me. How I can go all around the world. I can't wait till we watch this back so she can see. Yeah. Anyhow, new beginnings, because she's getting more into her comfort zone. I tell her, the more comfortable you become, you're going to touch a lot of lives. You're welcome, Dayla. I know she's going to touch a lot of lives because, see, I'm the man that talks about my new beginnings, and I'm looking at one camera and everything. Talking about my new beginnings, and this is the woman who was on the other side of some of those things that I was going through. So she has her own testimony and stories of new beginnings and how to get through it. And I think the more she taps into that, it'll be very beneficial to men and women around the world. And I know God gonna use her because he's using me, and he's always used her. Even when we go out to the supermarket, people just come to her and they talk to her because she has a softness, a genuineness. So I know at this new beginning is really gonna stretch us to a whole nother level. But anyhow, we're talking earlier about Thomas and actually doing the show from home, and how at one point in time we discussed doing the show from home, and maybe at the first of the year we'll start preparing, getting microphones and setting up. And then Thomas, well, hey man, I may have to go away for a little bit and take care of some business with the military. I'll probably be on orders. And it went from wow, first of the year to you got to go right now. You got to prepare right now. And you were looking like, all right, well, let me find some microphones and let me find some cameras, and okay, we'll just have to use the regular Facebook camera if we don't get set up. Like, sometimes when you ask for your new beginning, a lot of times when you ask for your new beginning, most of the time when you ask for your new beginning, it don't come when you want it to come.
All right.
But then you get to decide whether or not you're going to take the step and move forward. As Abraham Maslow say, every opportunity is an opportunity to step forward into growth or step back into safety. I could have just been like, oh no, babe, let's just go to Tom Man's house and see if we can work it out while he's taking care of his business, and we'll sit off to the side and be quiet. Or we could have just said, hey, we're going to take what we have. We're going to get this microphone. We're going to set up the regular computer. We're going to set up the phone, and we're just going to start. We're going to start our beginning right there and see what God does with it. Don't get stuck on what we did last week or what we don't have or how the people going to see it or what the people going to think. Just focus on starting the new beginning and see the journey that God takes you on. Because I assure you, if you take a step in any direction of something new, whether it's bad or good, whether someone thinks it's bad or good, if you take a step in that direction, you're going to become more exposed to it. They say once the mind has been exposed, it can't go back. So if you're exposed to selling drugs in the neighborhood and you start selling drugs, you probably going to sell drugs for a little bit until you want to get out of that environment. Real talk. I mean, that's just what I think it is, because you've been exposed to something else. This is your new high thing now. This is your new. If you go to school, like when I went to school and I started going to Oakland Community College, my new normal, my new high, my new drug, your new, whatever you want to call it, my new shift or change in life was going to the library and reading. So that became my new normal. And when you want something new to change in your life, you have to create new normals in your life to continue to expand your mind. This being done at home in our home is it's definitely way more authentic. It's definitely more natural. It's comfortable, even though it's uncomfortable that this is a newness when you're used to having the background of the DJ noise. You have someone else that knows how to actually set it up, that have set it up before. You just have distractions.
It's like a comfort zone.
Absolutely.
You get comfortable in your newness, and then it's time for a new season and you're uncomfortable again.
That's good.
And you have to continue allowing yourself to be uncomfortable until it becomes comfortable now on your new level.
That's true.
So
you have to be comfortable with being made uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
That's the only way you want to grow.
Yeah,
right. That's the only way to grow. If you want to grow, you have to be made uncomfortable, because you don't grow without it.
Yes.
You do not grow without it. Even doing this, as many as videos as I can put up, or if I'm sneak recording you, we playing, like, this is still uncomfortable. But the more we do it, I know it'll go from our Saturday expression session show to maybe Saturday and Wednesday, some type of show, Monday, Wednesday. It could be different things, different ideas that we have. Right. And I know the more comfortable we become with it, the more we'll tailor our messages to fit specific people, or the more God will tailor our messages to fit, at certain times what people need, because we took a step on this new beginning. Right. And if anybody is willing to take a step on a new beginning in their life, a change in their life, then the universe has no other choice but to open up and give you what you ask for, regardless to what that newness is in. When I start drinking, I wanted to drink more. You know what I'm saying? It was a newness. So you have to go after what you want. You have to really seek the change that you want. You have to believe in the newness, regardless to what anybody else says. You have to PSP. You have to promote yourself. You have to sell yourself. You have to push yourself. I had to do it to myself on a regular basis, because I didn't know if I always believed my new change, because I had been there so many times. I didn't know if I always believed my new change. And I know if it's a lot of us out there like that don't, oh man, I didn't change, I'm actually doing this. It's like I talked about before, if you take a test and you pass the test and you give all the credit to luck. Whoo, that was good luck, I did that. But if you fail something, the minute you fail, you take all the blame and responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't give yourself a new normal. And I had to give myself a new normal, and I don't know, giving myself a new normal helped change my life. What's going on, Randall? How you doing out there? As you say, boy, you ain't doing, what did you do? Taper Thursdays? One of my old soldiers from out of Houston. What's the name?
And then too, we have to give ourselves some grace. Like, we give other people grace all the time, but we are our worst critic. I think sometimes we can be. You have to give yourself some grace. You have to give yourself some grace, because if you start something new and you fall back into your comfort zone, it's okay. Just go back out there again where it's uncomfortable, because we like comfort. Let's be honest. Comfort is where,
it's comfortable.
Right. Comfort is where we thrive because we used to it.
I don't know if we thrive in comfort.
I say that because you feel like you living your best life when you in comfort.
Okay.
And when you in something uncomfortable, you like, I don't know if I should talk this way. Should I sit up? You don't know. And it's all unsure until you do it so long. Now this is your new comfort zone. So sometimes you may slip back into something and then you're like, no, this ain't really where I want to be. So I'm going to just I'm going to get back on the right track. And that's okay until you get to a point where you're doing more on the right track than you are going backwards. But I think sometimes we don't give ourselves grace in that time in between going from comfort zone to something we want new. We just beating ourselves up like, oh, I knew I shouldn't have did that. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have been there. But it's okay. The Bible says we fall down 7 times. We just get back up, because
I don't know if a lot of people believe the Bible that they read. I'm just going to be serious. When I read the Bible now, I think it's pretty cut and dry. It's pretty simple. I think religion is screwing it all up. I really do. Like when you say that, period, the Bible said man falls 7 times and he get back up again. God casts your yesterdays into the seas of forgetfulness. I'll stretch it out from as far as the east to the west. Like the creator of all don't remember, don't care. Like, why are you carrying that? Like he's telling you, no, bro, you good. Repent, go a new way. I know you're gonna make mistakes.
We can be our worst critic. We're striving to be like God, but we're not there. Sometimes we want to be right. We want to do the right thing, but we beat ourselves up so bad that, it takes a made up mind to say, I'm forgiven and I didn't do that intentionally. And I'm making steps to where it doesn't happen again. And that's okay. And I think because other people judge us so hard, we take it internally, because what would people think if they knew I did that? Or, how does it look that I slipped and fell? Like we take it so hard because we live in a society where you judged on, your mistakes, and you may get more attention for your mistakes than you do for the right steps you make. I think that positive reinforcement is so important when you're going from one level to another, like, hey, good job, I see you, I'm watching you, you're doing good. And when you don't have that,
shout out Doc Owens,
you have to give it to yourself. And if you beating yourself up for every little thing, then you may not ever hear good job or way to go, or just keep pushing, you're gonna get there. So I think sometimes we are our own worst critic, and it's okay to make mistakes. We're all making mistakes, but the thing is, don't stay there. Get back up and keep going, because it takes the mistakes sometimes to get to where you want to go, and you learn something. As long as you're learning something, it's not really a failure.
There's no losses in life. It's only lessons.
It's just a lesson that you learn. So I think sometimes we don't get there as fast as maybe we could, or we hold on a little longer to the things we've done wrong, is because we're so hard on ourselves. But we would give our friend grace. We would say, hey girl, hey guy, don't worry about that. You're going to be all right. You're going to get there. But we don't give our own self that grace sometimes.
How do you get to that point to give yourself? How did you get to that point to give yourself that grace to sustain your newness, to continue to move forward? Because it's got to be some things that you struggle with maybe for years, so you think, like, and you say, oh, that don't bother me no more. Like, say, for example, something as simple as a newness to me. Before, when we were together, when we got in the car, I could count on you going to sleep. Like, that was it. It was a done deal. And for me being a talker, I'm like, oh, she gonna go to sleep. Like, I got used to it, but at the same time, I wanted to talk. Now, when I say, like, oh, okay, babe, it's cool, I know you're going to go to sleep, you're like, no, I'm not. I don't go to sleep anymore like that. And I thought about it like, no, you don't. So how did you get to that point? Or, when your newness became normal and you begin to, I guess, continue to go forward in it?
I made a choice. You have to make a conscious effort. We all have smartphones. You put reminders in your phone. And as far as me going to sleep, I know that you're a talker and that you.
So that's why you went to sleep?
No, that's not why I went to sleep. I stopped going to sleep. I stopped going to sleep because I know you're a talker and I want to help you stay up and keep you, engaged and encouraged on the drive. So it's just a thing of what do I have to do to adjust so that I'm not going to sleep? Do I need to get more rest? Do I need to make sure that I have upbeat music? Like you just make a choice and you do things to help you succeed. Do you need a reminder on your phone? Do you need more rest? Do you need to eat a healthy meal? Like you have to come up with a plan for yourself. Look in the mirror and tell yourself, you're amazing. You got this. It's okay. I remember going through a season where I would just look in the mirror and talk to myself, and I cried for like the first 2 or 3 weeks because it was like the stuff I was saying to myself I had never said before.
Like what?
And
what'd you say?
What? I love you.
Okay,
you're worthy of love.
Yeah, the people want to.
It's okay to make a mistake. You're not perfect.
Some of the same things.
You don't have to be perfect. Nobody is perfect. But as long as you're striving to be the best version of yourself, then you're on the right track. Keep going. You can do it. Like I had to talk to myself because I didn't always have somebody to say, you can do it, especially when we were going through. I had to really, when they say encourage yourself.
That was one of my favorite songs. I'm telling you, bro. I was just going to sing that song.
Sometimes you have to record it on your phone because you don't always have those moments where you want to encourage yourself. You in the beat up myself mode. But if you got it, you have it on your phone, and you could just hit the button and let you talk to you, but it's your voice, but you saying nice things about yourself. So there are all these things you can do to help you get to where you want to go. And, stay on your journey and know that it's okay. There is no time limit. Sometimes we put a time limit on myself. In 1 year, this is where I want to be. And if you don't get there, you like, what happened? What went wrong? That's when I think
God laughing at you. Like you gave me the plan and you're going to tell me when it's done.
Yes. And that's cool because that's what we call goal setting. But also you have to know if you don't make your goal and not allow the time, now you have to look back and reflect on, okay, what could I have done or what can I do now to get me a little closer? Is it a mindset shift that I need to take part of? Is it, financial? Do I need to learn more? It's just all about lessons learning instead of beating yourself up with, man, I didn't catch that goal and I was supposed to be here and I was bad at that. This was my 10-year plan and this is not how it was supposed to look. And I had to let go of what I had in mind because I was so frustrated. I had to let go of what I had in mind because I was just like, really, Lord, really? But he was like, yes, really, because I need you to work on this over here. And when you do, then we off to the races. So
that's how she in there, y'all. I told you, let her go. Let her go. It's the newness coming. I'm trying to tell y'all.
You always set me up.
Hey, it's the newness coming, y'all. I'm telling you. She just said it. You have to encourage yourself. I did the same thing. That's why I was so adamant about my affirmations being up. I needed that. I had to paint myself a new picture. I had to paint a new Ethan. I had to wipe away the old EJ and the old past. Like, I needed to paint a new picture, and I realized in painting a new picture with my affirmation saying, I can do anything I put my mind to, with my always be honest with yourself and everybody else. Like I used to tell myself, you've been criticizing yourself for years. Keep approving of yourself and see what happens. Like I still need to feed myself that energy every day to make it through the day successfully for me.
All right.
Successfully for me to have peace, to not worry about finances, to not worry about, kids walking to school, to not worry about my wife driving. Like I need that peace. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I got to my newness. And you absolutely right. You have to feed yourself that information. you have to feed yourself that information. In the Bible, it says, be renewed by the transformation of your mind. That's a daily thing. Renewing your mind is a daily thing, because every day that you wake up, you're a new you. You shedded skin cells. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shedded a piece of you. Right. You a new you. So there's no need for us to carry yesterday. And I know I used to always be one that seemed like I would be pushing, like, how come we just can't move on from here, move forward from this? And you'd be like, well, wait a minute. We ain't supposed to just roll past that and forget about it. And I never wanted to forget about it, but I'm like, yo, if we said we done, let's be done and go forward, because I can't do anything to change it. That's not helping in our new season of life. That's not taking us anywhere in our new season of life, to be bringing the same old baggage. We remember when we left Michigan to come to Texas. When we went from a 2-bedroom apartment full of stuff to a 5x7 U-Haul trailer and Dodge Durango. We starting brand new. We don't need none of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And when you get into a situation, a new relationship, you got to start brand new. See you later, Instagram. We out. Instagram was shutting off. I guess they only give you so much time, but you can start it back up if you want to start it back up. I guess they only give you so much time. That's cool. Now I don't have to break my neck to looking at Instagram camera. I love my Instagram people though. You don't have to, newness. Yeah, newness. But this is good. Like Ruck Day, Suck Day. It's a newness for me. Finding something to attempt to get consistent with. I'm learning more and more. One thing that I do know that's new for me is my consistency. I learn how to be more consistent in things in life by watching you. You know what I'm saying? When God puts you with a partner, y'all grow each other in so many ways. Y'all grow each other in so many ways. And if you looked at more of how you grow with a person, like the newness that person help you to bring out, instead of you feeling like they're trying to change you, like I think life will be so much better. I've grown so much, and I know it. Consistency and discipline that I have from you. It's the newness in my life. And it came at a perfect time, because when I put my affirmations up and I talked to you about my schedule, that's what helped me become consistent and become more disciplined, and then to get back with you, who's somebody that was already like that. And I was just finding my newness of schedule and our family setup,
Yes.
So we just talking newness today, man. New beginnings, how we were stretched and pushed outside of our comfort zone for something we asked for. We talked about podcasting at home, doing podcasts together, doing the expression session show from home, being able to touch people, being able to be used by God. We talked about this new beginning. We had no idea when a new beginning would come, but when we found out it was coming, we didn't sit back, we didn't cry about it. We ran out, we bought this microphone. We got a couple of them. We got a camera set up behind us, and we ain't figured out how to get it working correctly yet. I'm just real. Like, we got Stream Labs open over here to figure out how to go live on YouTube. It's a new beginning for us. So instead of making excuses, it's just like keep stepping into that uncomfortable zone of life. So the newness that you desire, the newness that you are after, that it will continue to open up in your life. And doing this here today, man, it's just showing us we can do it. Like, we can do anything we put our mind to. And I know my wife, she'll be back on this computer on Streamlabs, and I'll be visualizing stuff, and we'll be coming up with these ideas just to take it further to the next level. And you just keep growing in your newness. You just keep moving forward in your newness. You just keep trusting God. You just keep believing him at his word, and your life can only change, man. Whichever way you decide to step, if you decide to step in the direction that you believe is going to grow you and your family, then it will. Whether that's working out, whether that's changing your diet, whether that's changing your job, whether that's taking a step away from a job and building that business that you desire, that you dream about. If you believe that newness is possible in your life, then it'll happen if you step in that direction. But if you step into a direction of, stepping out on your wife or stepping out on your husband or over drinking or over smoking, and I'm not judging you for doing either one, but if you step down that road and that's the road you decide to travel, that's going to open up in your life more. That's going to be the newness in your life. So we get to decide, we get to choose, what newness we have in our lives and how it begins to manifest.
All right.
You know, we get to choose the newness in our life and how it begins to manifest. So, what do you choose for the newness for you? Like, yeah. Yeah, you got to deal with that when you at home. I mean, you could just be mean to the kids, like, don't you come in here? You know I'm recording right now. You know how it is, especially if you grew up black in the 70s like me, 70s and 80s. Whole different generation. My kids don't know anything about that. But anyhow, man, don't be afraid to step into a new season of your life. Don't be afraid to trust God. Don't be afraid to trust yourself. Don't be afraid to tell yourself you love you. Don't be afraid to believe in you, you know? This thing called life is a journey. We're all able to take the journey that we desire. You want to say something to the people to close out?
I do. Excuse me.
Let's not make this habit.
Hey guys, it's me. I got my YouTube channel. My parents here, aren't they amazing?
You gonna come give yourself a shout out.
Shameless plug.
Also, I have a YouTube channel too. If you want to check me out, it's called Zarya House. I'll be eating some food, playing with Barbies, doing some vlogs, all that good stuff. And some inspiration too.
New beginnings, man. New beginnings. Shameless plug. All right, man, we out. Thanks for joining us on another wonderful Saturday session of Expression Sessions. I guess we're going to have to create like an outro or something like that, make it more normalized.
I'm out.
But we definitely appreciate y'all coming out. We're going to go out with the music. How about that? Yeah, with the music.
Mr. P.
With the music. This the behind the scenes footage that's still on the scenes.
Absolutely. This is real. This is how I go all the time.
He needs some inspiration. He's got come on by. Do it again.
New beginnings, man.
Again. When you need some inspiration, he's got Think Mr. P.
It's a family affair.
And come on by.
We out.